Did you know that back-to-back cruising can actually save you some money and give you more time to explore destinations? What's better than one cruise, but two cruises? I have been on several back-to-back cruises and I get a lot of questions such as, how does this work and what benefits do I have of doing a back-to-back cruise? Well, a back-to-back cruise is just what it sounds like. It's booking two cruises or more in consecutive weeks. In fact, some cruise lines will refer to you as a consecutive cruiser. On the first day of your sailing, you often will receive a letter in your cabin of all the directions and information that you need to know about of being a consecutive cruiser. Some cruise ships will give this to you toward the end of your sailing so that you can be informed of what to expect coming up on your back-to-back cruise. Now, it is suggested to book the same cabin back to back. Sometimes that's not possible and you're not able to find that same cabin open in consecutive weeks. So what happens here if you have the same cabin or if you have to switch and go to a different cabin your following week? You want to make sure that your room steward is aware, even if you are staying in the same room. If you're staying in the same room, your room steward will let you know that you just can leave all your stuff out and about. You don't have to pack anything up. Now, if you are switching rooms, then you will have to pack up and let your room steward know. And oftentimes on most cruise lines, the room steward will take your luggage to your next room for you. Now, another question that I've gotten is, do I have to leave my room if I've gotten the same room for my next sailing? Yes, every cruise ship will ask you to leave and come to a general location. They'll have that for you in your letter. And oftentimes it's going to be in the theater or the main dining room. I have done both of these. So do expect to still have to get up in the morning on disembarkation day. But hey, the positive is you don't actually have to go home this day. So when you're leaving on disembarkation day and headed to the theater or the main dining room, what can you expect there? Do you need to take anything with you? And I highly suggest taking your day bag that you would normally have with you on embarkation day. This includes any kind of medication, any important items that you may have, because all cruise ships are different and all cruise ports are going to be different. This means that when you go to the main area to meet with other consecutive cruisers, what's going to happen is they will come in and provide you with your new SeaPass card or Sail and Sign card. But some cases you will have to leave the ship, you will have to go back through customs in the port, and then you just walk right back on the ship before all the other cruisers come on. Now, in some cases, some ports, you don't even have to leave the ship. You can stay on the ship and you can go right back to your room. Now, for example, on my back-to-back cruise in Florida, we had to get off the cruise ship. We had to go through the terminal, show our passport, and we just walked right back on the cruise ship from the terminal, and still before all the other cruisers got on. But we couldn't do that until all the cruisers from the previous sailing were off the ship. So this can take anywhere from a few minutes to a couple hours. So plan on bringing a book or a tablet or something, just in case it does take a while to get all the cruisers from the previous sailing off the ship. Now, when I was in Seattle and we did a back-to-back cruise, we didn't even have to get off the ship to show our passport, and we didn't have to wait for all the cruisers to get off the ship either. We were able to get our new Sail and Sign cards and just start walking around the ship, and we're free to go to our room while they were still getting everybody from the previous sailing off the ship. So, like I said, every cruise ship, every port is completely different. And in some ports in other countries, you'll not only have to go to the port, but you'll also have to leave the port as well and come back on as all the other cruisers are coming back on. Now, a good thing with that, a lot of cruise lines will offer you a transit pass so that you can kind of skip the line and get back on in front of everybody else. But the big thing with that is you want to plan that you will have to leave your room. Now, when you have gone through all of this process, you've gotten your new SeaPass or Sail and Sign card, and you're able to go back to your room, you can go back to your room before all the other passengers are able to go to their room. On most cruise ships, it's usually 1 o'clock before rooms are open, and you can go ahead and go to your room before all the other cruisers do. Now, as a consecutive cruiser, some cruise lines will offer different amenities to you, such as a special luncheon or some mimosas, a special drink to welcome back the consecutive cruisers for their next sailing. Another big question that I have gotten is, well, I'm on another sailing, do I have to do muster again? Yes, according to maritime law, passengers have to do muster every time they're on a cruise ship, regardless if you're on 1, 2, 3, or 4 times, they don't care. You have to muster every single time. So The positive thing about that is you're on before all the other cruisers are, so just go ahead and muster before the lines start and go grab you something to eat before all the lines are starting it there as well. Also, if you're finding any of these tips helpful, please give me a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. Now, this is simply booking 2 cruises back to back consecutively, which means that you are paying for 2 cruises, and oftentimes you're not going to receive a discount just because you are a consecutive cruiser. Now, sometimes you can talk to the cruise line, or if you're going through a travel agent, you can see if there's any discounts available. I haven't received any discounts for doing a consecutive cruise, but sometimes there might be, especially if you book it on the cruise ship. If you go over to Next Cruise on a Royal Caribbean ship, you might be able to get a discount if you are planning to stay. But just to plan that there's not actual discounts for being a consecutive cruiser. Now, how can you save money if you are a consecutive cruiser? Well, that's by airfare. If you are already planning on taking a couple of cruises and you already have a couple of weeks off for vacation, then you only have to worry about booking your flight once. But something else to keep in mind that could be a little bit of a negative is not only are you paying for those 2 cruises, but you do have to keep in mind that since they are 2 cruises, they are completely separate. So whatever packages you purchased here on the first cruise, you will have to repurchase them on the second cruise. So if you purchased a drink package or the Wi-Fi package on your first sailing, you will need to purchase it again on your second sailing if you're wanting to have it for your next cruise. So aside from the fact that you get to be on a cruise again, and you don't have to pack your bags and get off the ship while everybody else is on disembarkation day, what are some of the other benefits of doing a back-to-back cruise? Well, when you're first coming on and the ship is mostly empty, then you get a chance to see more of the ship without all the crowds around. You get a chance to kind of relax and lay back a little bit more. You're not feeling so rushed. You get a chance to see more of the shows. You don't feel like you have to cram everything into 1 week or just one sailing. And if you have the same ports that you're going to on the second sailing, then you get a chance to see that port maybe a little bit more in depth. Maybe you had a shore excursion the first sailing, and now the second sailing you want to just kind of explore the port, and it can save you some money by not booking another shore excursion or just stay on the cruise ship. Many avid cruisers will tell you that they love staying on the cruise ship, especially if they've been to that port before. So definitely take advantage of just another sea day when you're at port. Now, one of my favorite reasons to book a back-to-back cruise is if you are wanting to take a 3-day weekend cruise and you want to couple that with a 4-day cruise. For instance, the upcoming Utopia of the Seas, you could book a 3-day weekend cruise and the 4-day cruise and then have a full week to check out that entire ship. That will give you so much more time to check out the ship and really get a chance to explore, especially such a large ship like that. Are you planning to do a back-to-back cruise? Have you done a back-to-back cruise? Leave me a comment. I would love to hear your feedback and your experiences. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.